The No Boundaries radio show may contain adult material and coarse language. Listener discretion is advised.
And I want you to know that I'm listening to one of the coolest shows on the planet. This is No Boundaries Radio, and we're glad to have you. Better wear a cup.
This is Gabrielle Faust, and you're listening to No Boundaries Radio, where all the vampires hang out late at night.
Hi there, this is the artist, Mike Bliss. I'm over here in London, and I'm here to tell you that No Boundaries Radio has gone global and is drawing listeners from all over the world.
This is Donna Stewart from Sci-Fi Radio, and you're listening to No Boundaries Radio. They're a little messed up, but they're cool.
Welcome to the No Boundaries Radio Show. Are you ready for a wild ride in radio entertainment? Let's welcome our host, William Maltese, author of over 200 books, and JoJo from VampireWear, creator of jewelry and clothing for the undead. Hey everybody, welcome to the No Boundaries radio show. It's July 22nd, 2015. Our intro song tonight is called Cast in Amber by the band Earn, and you can hear more of their music at reverbnation.com/Earn Central. And Dominic St. Charles from the band is going to be on our show next week, which is really cool. But this week we're super excited. I'm very happy to have Leah Scott Price. She's a horror author, film producer, and the creator of the Vampire Guardian Angels comic book series. But before we bring Leah on, William, what were you doing this week, and what are you drinking this evening?
Well, look, after several days where everything that could go wrong did go wrong, I finally decided that it would probably be safer just to chill out with a pitcher of drinks and do absolutely nothing. So that's what I've been doing. That's what I've been doing most of this week, especially since the weather has remained nice. So it's a good time just to lie around and do absolutely nothing. Although I did get to a couple of art exhibitions, thought of going to a couple of movies, but didn't.
Oh,
and
okay.
Yeah, and didn't do that. And I thought I probably should start some writing again, doing some writing. I didn't do that either. I've mainly been doing absolutely nothing but lying around and
being William.
Lying around, yeah, being William and drinking. And
Okay.
speaking of drinking, this evening, in keeping with the vampiric theme of this evening's program, with Leah Scott Price, horror author, film producer, and creator of the Vampire Guardian Angel comic book series, as our guest, I'm drinking vampire cocktails, each of which consists of 1 scoop of vanilla ice cream, 1 ounce triple sec, a half ounce of white cream to cacao. You drizzle all of that with grenadine. You blend all of except the grenadine until smooth. You just pour it into a cocktail glass, and then you drizzle the grenadine over the top so that it looks like blood, and you go from there.
Cool.
Which brings us to you, JoJo, and what hopefully you've had a better time of it at Meadow Lily Farm and VampireWear than I did this last.
Yeah, it's been a beautiful week here, and at Meadow Lily Farm we still have some honey left, and from the spring honey run, and providing the bees are keeping busy, we should have another honey run shortly, and you can get honey and beeswax candles at meadowlilyfarm.com. And I'm excited tonight for having a vampire themed show, since I'm a huge fan and also make jewelry for my VampireWear store, VampireWear.com. So I have a voucher code available now if anybody's interested. Just put in the voucher code BITE ME and get 10% off anything you like on the site, and that's all one word, BITE ME. And I'm going to leave that good till the end of August. And if you haven't been to VampireWear.com before, I make gothic jewelry, including blood vial gift sets and the really popular Tribal Fang necklace, which is only available on my site, and it comes with a numbered letter of authenticity. So, yeah, but let's talk about vampires, and not vampires that sparkle. Leah Scott Price, our guest tonight, is a horror author, film producer, and the creator of the Vampire Guardian Angels comic book series. So welcome to the show, Leah, and thanks so much for coming on.
Hi, Joanne and William. Thank you so much for having me on. And by the way, William, I want that drink recipe, so send that to me later.
Do you know, it's almost like a milkshake. It's really so if I kind of, drift off during the show, you'll know that I just had another one. So first off, I want to thank you, Leah, for giving us some vampires for a change that aren't sparkly, because I'm so sick and tired of sparkly vampires I could puke. So good for you. And let's start off, we can, by you just telling us the why and when of you first starting up in comic books. I'm under the impression, and I may be wrong, that you actually started out back in 2002 doing novels, right? No? Wrong?
Correct.
Yes.
Yes.
And then you decided to adapt your novels to comic books, or just do a new series of comic books?
I started adapting them into films first, They were kind of promotional films where I just wanted to see what my characters would look like if, they were turned into a film. So I did that first for a while. And then after that, I said, well, where can I go from here? And I decided to do the comic books. And that actually didn't start until 2012. So it's a fairly new series, but we're on our 5th issue now and going on our 6th.
Was your film animated?
No, it was like a X-Files type, Twilight Zone type film. So they were actually a little film shorts that my actor friends and I were doing. So, Are they available?
Are they available anywhere online at the present time? No.
Oh yeah, they're on YouTube.
They are on YouTube.
If you just go to youtube.com/Leah Scott Price, and you'll see like all the films I've done.
Fantastic. And so then you found an illustrator found you. I mean, it's still kind of a leap from film to comic books.
Oh,
I mean, comic books are not I mean, having involved in one graphic novel, I can tell you, comic books are not easy to do. So,
no, they're not. It took me a year to find the right illustrator. I had one before, he didn't work out. I mean, it just wasn't the style I wanted.
We know how that goes. Yes, we know how that goes.
Yeah. So I actually found my illustrator online on a site called freelance.com, and he's all the way out in Missouri. And it just lucked out that his best friend was a letterer and a colorist. They were actually going to school together, so that before they graduated, I managed to snag them up and say, hey, you want to do a comic book? And they go, sure. So they've been with me for, oh my God, since 2012. So we're going on, 5, 6 issues now, and they're fantastic. They work, so they're amazing. I mean, I can't stop saying really good things about them. I just lucked out.
Do you provide them with like a storyboard, or do you just give them the dialogue that you want or the story that you want and turn them loose with it?
I actually just write out. The first 3 comic books were already based on the novels. I was able to just condense like the script, provide them with the script. But that was the hardest part, was turning 94 pages of a novel into 24 pages. And the rest were just written as sequels, so that was the easy part. Andrew is my artist, Andrew Setter, and he's the main person who illustrates, and he actually does everything by hand, including shading and penciling. It's just amazing. And it takes so long. It takes a year to do a comic book. And what I do is I send them the script, and he and Chad just are mind readers. I actually don't even see what they do. They'll just send me little sneak peeks, and I'll go, oh, that looks cool. It's kind of like a suspenseful thing, but then in the end, it's amazing. It comes out absolutely perfect. There's no rewrites. There's no redraws. It's like they just take the script and they completely read my mind. And Chad Hammondtree is the colorist, and he just puts together this amazing color. It's weird. It's how we just connect on a very, I guess, vampiric level.
Do you do the formatting, or do they?
I do the formatting, and the final end, after they deliver the completed images, then I put it together then send it out in PDF to get it printed.
Are you're self-publishing then, right?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, isn't that it's expensive no matter how you do it, whether you do it self-publishing or not, but aren't illustrations a very expensive way to go? I mean, do you find it exorbitantly expensive?
No. I mean, we work out our own deals, and they've been really, really great about that. And, I compensate them as much as I can. And I also bring them out to Kamikaze every year here in L.A. So that's the bonus. Yeah, I pay for the flight or hotel. So.
As regard to expense, I wasn't thinking so much of them, which is an expense in itself, but I mean in publishing. Illustrations, isn't that it's far more expensive to publish illustrations than it is text, right? No?
Oh yeah, I mean it's a labor of love. I mean it's gotten to a point where I pretty much break even. So, a lot of my my expenses are just basically printing. Because I
yes,
create.
yes, yeah.
So you just get. You have to order your own books, but of course, if you have a resale certificate, it's not that bad. You still have to pay the sales tax, all that business stuff. The boring business part. But and then of course it's available digitally. So actually, the downloads is where I actually do make a little bit of the money.
Like on Kindle. Are you on?
Yeah.
I checked and saw that you were on Amazon, and then I checked. Are you on Barnes & Noble? No.
No.
I don't recall. So you didn't go. Well, Barnes & Noble's Nook, I guess, is going belly up anyway, somewhere along the line. So
yeah.
So like everybody else, you're discovering that the digital is actually the way to go in regard to getting any money back, right?
That's correct.
Okay. Jojo, did you want to say something? I seem to be doing all the talking. Chat. Go ahead.
I knew because you do the books too and had done comic form books. That
so I find it quite interesting that somebody else is involved because I know it's not an easy process whatsoever. And try to jiggle all of those illustrations and getting them to fit how they're supposed to, and then get them formatted is not an easy job. So I commend Leah on that and congratulate her as well. So.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, congratulations to you too. I mean, I read a bit about your book, so it's like, wow. I mean, it's pretty impressive when you finally put one together. It's an accomplishment.
Yeah. I mean, it really is. And if you have, you have more than one illustration per page, and you have to make them fit. Yeah. No. All power to you, and your illustrator as well, because I don't know. I don't know how the illustrators do it. I mean, I was so impressed with Mike Bliss out of London when he came through that I thought, good Lord, I couldn't, sit down and produce as many pictures as you have to form one comic book is just mind-boggling as far as I'm concerned. So,
right.
Well, I wanted to ask Leah, what made you decide to write about vampires?
Oh, good question. Well, it's always been a favorite kind of monster of mine, and I have always been afraid of vampires. Well, it's not so much. I mean, it's always been a creepy shark teeth that I always always feared, and it's more of kind of the psychological effect, like you never know what's going to come and bite you, I guess, and so it's kind of, like I said, it's been my favorite monster. So, I mean, I'm so heavily influenced by, the B movies. I was heavily into, the Hammer films, Fright Night, Lost Boys, all those old vampire films that are just so amazing to watch. You watch them over and over again, and it's just the creepy factor. The Stephen King stuff. It's just oh, my God, if they were real, I'd be in heaven, actually.
Well, some think they are real, but I was going to say the Lost Boys is what got me interested in vampires as well, and the Anne Rice and all that stuff. So we're on the same page there.
So you're into vampires basically because you like to be scared, huh?
And they're romantic,
I like to be scared, yeah. And I like the scary ones. I don't like the romance as much. I mean, what attracted me to it was the violence, the ripping flesh kind of thing, and it's just the goriness of it.
And do you want to tell us how you happen to come up with your characters each time? I mean, that must be interesting. I mean, since you're no longer adapting from your previous books, right? You're now doing originals. Is that you've reached that point?
Well, the first 3 issues were completely from the novel, and then I didn't want to write novels anymore, so I decided to do sequels in comic book form.
And how did you get your character? I mean, how do you get your characters? How do you decide upon characterization? I guess, or how did you? Just like every other novelist.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. So answer my own question. Probably it's probably a stupid question. You'll probably do it like everybody else.
No.
So just sit down and do it, yeah.
No, well, I was heavily drinking at the time.
Let me tell you,
That's how William comes up with his ideas.
That helps. Yes, that there it is. That explains it. Thank you. That does it right there. You need go no farther with that one, huh?
Okay. Well, I was. This is the story I always tell, and I was in a church. And long story short, the priest was doing a sermon about guardian angels. You know, they're good. They're there to save you. Yada yada yada. And I go, really? No. Let's fuck this up. So
she's not allowed in church anymore.
Oh yeah. First, it started out with I turned the guardian angels into serial killers. Like, what if you pray to one and they really hate you? And they're tired of answering your prayers, so they just kill you instead. So it went from there. And then the next step was like, okay, what about I turn them into vampires? And let's put a twist on there. They'll be serial killers, but they can only kill you as a vampire if you call to them. So, I just kind of played with it, and then came up with this really badass-looking guardian angel. Like, okay, because I'm such a huge fan of X-Files, and, it's kind of like... And a film noir where, it's the detective stories and all that stuff. So it's like, okay, let's throw some cops in there. Let's dress them up in trench coats and have them running around, trying to find each other and solve this mystery and all that stuff. And it went from there. So, I just started developing the characters even more, like who would be the good guy, who would be the bad guy, who would be, this and that. And it kind of went from there. So, yeah, there you have it.
So you were inspired by vampires, the X-Files. By the way, we're all looking forward to, there's going to be a new movie, I understand. So.
Oh, yes, we are.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to that. And the film noir
yes.
genre. So that you combine them all into, okay, well, that sounds like it'll work. Yes, okay, yeah.
If you notice, my comic books are very, crime noir kind of thing.
Yes, I noticed that. Yeah, I know. I've noticed even the covers reminded me of a lot of the old crime magazines. As a matter of fact,
right? Exactly.
Did you, Leah? Did you make yourself a character in your comics?
Yes, I am one of the main characters, and I'm actually on the cover of issue 3. And so basically, I play an author who discovers that there's vampires, guardian angels that become vampires, and they're in the Bible, blah, 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 there's vampires in the Bible. And I'm playing a real-life author who's writing about these characters. So it's kind of like I'm cosplaying myself.
That's neat.
So awesome. Like, if I go to conventions, comics, I can dress up my own character.
That's really smart, and it's fun that you did that too.
Yeah, and I become a vampire in the later issue, so it's kind of cool too.
Let's see. Well, let's say you've already told us about your artwork. You have 2 people working with you, or 1?
2 people.
2 people working with you. One is the colorist, and one is the artist.
Right. Andrew Fetter, he's my artist, and Chad Hammondtree is my colorist and letterer, and my graphic designer, and my art director.
How often? How often do you plan? Like, how often do the issues come out? Do you have a schedule?
Oh yeah, we plan out once a year, only because we're indie artists.
Oh, you said that.
We have full-time jobs.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And they're in Missouri, so we try to, but we communicate pretty much, every time, every week almost, through text and email and all that stuff. So we keep in touch, and, it's progress. It's like weekly progress, this and that, and it's challenging, but, it takes about a year for a comic book because it's so detailed, and we work on it when we can.
Yeah, and they must have fun when they come to LA, coming from Missouri.
Oh.
I was going to say, there's a nice bonus.
Oh, yeah. The last time they were here, I let them loose, and I was worried I'd never see them again because they were just having way too much fun.
you lose your artists there. But go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, William.
Do you require your artwork to be in JPEG or larger files like GIFs?
TIFFs.
TIFFs.
And what I do is I do reduce them into JPEGs, before I put them into the PDF, the RGB kind of stuff. And it takes a while, but
it's tricky.
It's kind of and the other thing too is I tried to make my comic books a little different in size. I mean, they're 8 by 10. They're 8.5 by 11, actually. Sorry, and they're not the normal comic book size. But I wanted it to be like different because I'm always kind of trying to be different. So, with the glossy cover, and actually it's working out. I mean, I kind of like it because it's a large format. It's kind of cool.
I think people would like that too. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is your series called Guardian Angels when these creatures obviously aren't guardian you? I mean, seem to be more out to kill than to protect.
She said that, William.
Right. Well, I know. It's kind of cool, huh? That's why well, my goal was to fuck up your image of a guardian angel. So, you always think that they're these holy beings that will come save you, but you combine them, you merge them, in my story, it's a guardian angel is bitten by a vampire. So, of course, he becomes something evil, which is kind of a juxtaposition. So, thus, vampire, guardian angel.
But you see, that bears repeating. That bears repeating, Jojo.
It does, yes, it does.
Yeah, even though it was that church part that, okay.
Well, and I kind of thought, too, when you said that, it's kind of like Lucifer was apparently God's top angel, and he went bad, too, so...
Yeah. So in the stories, these guardian angels were already resentful and rebellious. He turned them into a vampire, and they go, "Oh, cool, unlimited power."
Yeah.
And we're gonna screw humans up now. So,
do you have a chief? Do you have a chief protagonist? I mean, do you have one guardian angel that's in charge of them all, or are they all just separate, running amok?
No, there is one, and his name is Janus, and he's up in heaven right now, ruling, and he's turned everybody into vampires up there. So don't call him guardian angel; it might be a really bad idea. So
actually, God is gone. I mean,
I haven't gotten to that part yet.
Oh,
Jojo, you've lost her.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I think we got cut off from Leah.
Well,
but I was thinking I would take a break anyway, so I'll call her right back.
Yes, we can do that. Sure.
Okay, so we'll just.
God did not like
break.
that.
Looking for some erotic literature? Guaranteed to ignite your passion. Look no further than author William Maltese. With titles such as Dare to Love in Oz, Circus Sex, Godmaker Vampires of London, and Love Hurts. You can pick your favorite flavor, from mainstream romance to S&M and gay erotica. Want to get hot in the kitchen or the back of the boat? William also has a line of tasty cookbooks. Check out Back of the Boat Gourmet Cooking, and even gourmets have to diet. Go to WilliamMaltese.com and enjoy over 200 books and over 4 decades of love.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the evidence that will be presented before you today will clearly illustrate the heinous crime that the defendant committed and will discover the evil that lurks within him and what ultimately drove him to such acts.
The fact of the matter remains that the evidence against my client is circumstantial at the very best, and the prosecution has yet to provide anything conclusive or definitive that proves guilt beyond any reasonable doubt. Therefore, I urge you to review the facts before you and realize that you must acquit my client of any wrongdoing, as he is innocent of all charges filed against him.
The environment this courtroom is made. I open up my eyes and I'm focusing the stare. Perhaps I should keep them closed to avoid all the glare. My hands on the desk now begin to quietly shake. The jury is still out now with so much at stake. Despair is setting in as I'm still in disbelief that this day shall bring my damnation or relief. My dreams are so, it seems, are now nightmares to me. This hate that is so great is all but beckoning. This day that some shall say of what's happened to me. The sin that is within my hour of reckoning. Defender sits down and he starts to prepare. My thoughts flow to ask, and if does he even care? His apathy's the reason for why we're sitting here. But do they really blame me for what they truly fear? The jury then returns with my freedom or demise. The judge then follows and now all must rise. I know that I'm innocent and look for a peace of mind. Then the judge turns the foreman and asks, how do you find? Guilty!
Yes, Your Honor, we have.
Guilty!
We find the defendant
Guilty!
guilty.
Guilty! My dreams are so, it seems, are now nightmares to me. This hate that is so great is all the beckoning. This day that some shall say of what's happened to me. The sin that is within my hour of reckoning. Horror does grip me as I cannot believe that the sentence that passed simply just cannot be. For justice has suffered and failed on this day. For I'm not the one who should be taken away. The tears in my eyes are now starting to swell as the bailiff does take me away to a cell. If these people are blind, well they surely can't see. It's easier for all just to lay guilt on me.
Ghost Hunters Case Log 451. The time? Thursday, 8 p.m. Okay, we're going to start an EVP session. Is there anyone out there? Can you repeat that? I really need you to try to project louder and slower so we can all hear.
The Black Cat Lounge.
That's right, gang. Listen in. The Black Cat Lounge every Thursday night, 8 o'clock on Para X.
Hey everybody, we are back from break, and the break song once again was our guest is going to be on next week, Dominic St. Charles from the band Earn. And that song was called Reckoning Hour, and somebody in chat said that it sounded like a Doctor Who song, which is pretty cool. But tonight we were talking about vampires with Leah Scott Price, who's a horror author, film producer, and creator of the Vampire Guardian Angels comic book series. And I wanted to ask Leah if, like, how many exhibits you do like at comic book conventions, if you do more than Los Angeles? And
for now, I'm just doing Kamikaze in the Los Angeles Convention Center. Hopefully next year I'd be able to do more. I mean, there's Long Beach Comic Con and there's other conventions out there, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, and they're in California too, so that's kind of close, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did you say you got to dress up as your characters? Is that what you do? Do you all dress up as characters?
Well, this is the first year. I'm probably just gonna, try to look like my character a little bit more. I don't know if my artists are up for dressing up with the wings and everything, but we'll see. I mean, it's something we're gonna think about and plan. So hopefully we will.
In your series, are there ongoing characters in each issue? I mean, do you recognize people from one issue to the next? Is there ongoing storylines that leap from one book to the next, or are they all books into themselves?
Oh, no, they're ongoing. So you have one character, and some get killed off, some then suddenly come back. So I won't say how. But, it's pretty much an ongoing series.
How are your vampires killed, by the way?
Well, they cannot be killed by holy water, the usual, the crucifixes, all that stuff. They're almost invincible because they've got holy origins. I mean, they're guardian angels. So the holy stuff kills them. But the only thing that will kill them is a good angel. And right now there's only one. And, if he turns bad, we're all screwed. But, the only way is if a bad angel turns back to good, he can kill them too. So you kind of have to read the book to see where that's going.
Well, yes, I mean, that's what we tell everybody. If you want to know, read the book.
Exactly.
Yep.
We're not going to give it all away here.
Read the book. Yeah, find out what's going on.
Spoiler.
Spoiler alert.
I noticed that there was a Spanish language edition. How did that come about?
Spanish?
Isn't there?
No.
Oh,
not yet.
Not yet. I could have sworn that there was a Spanish language. I could have sworn that I came across a Spanish language edition. Well, I've been crazy before. What do I know?
Maybe you should look, William, because maybe she doesn't know about it.
Maybe you don't know about your Spanish language.
Maybe you've been bootlegged.
Oh,
I don't know. That's
possible.
Well, it wouldn't be the first thing I've got wrong, and it probably will not be the last thing I got wrong. But I will double check because I thought that was. I was wondering whether you had, whether you had done that yourself or whether another company had picked it up. Well, moving on from there, since apparently I've got my head up my rear.
I know what you're talking about. It's my other novel. That's fine.
Oh,
yeah.
It was one of your novels then, not one of your comic books.
Yeah.
It did go Spanish language.
Yep.
That's good though. That's really cool.
Okay. Oh, there, and you didn't do the translating. I mean, that was picked up by a Spanish company.
No. Yeah, I just kind of that's fine.
Oh, okay. Well, moving on from that.
Amazon anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm getting the royalties. I'm happy.
Oh yeah. Well,
there you go.
Yeah. That's in the long run. No, I shouldn't say that because a lot of authors think that's not all that counts. It's
well, you want to make a living at what you're doing.
Yeah. It's when you're an artist, there's more to it than just the money. They tell me. I don't know. Well, anyway.
Well, but you can't do your art unless you have the money to be able to stay home.
That's
work
right.
on your art.
Do you do? I don't think I've ever been to a Comic Con. I presume that you do signings and things. Do you do signings and things like in bookstores and things?
No, not yet. I mean, it's kind of really, a little tough because, we work full time, but that's something, I mean, in the long run it will be. Right now my focus is more into turning this whole series into anime. I mean, that would be amazing.
And release in Japan?
I hope so. Yeah, I'm actually learning Japanese now.
Oh,
cool.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, I know.
Good luck with that. too. Yeah.
Well, it's not, you just do it on your own. I don't mean it doesn't have to be in Japan. It's just be like, cartoon or something.
Yeah.
Do you think that if you went to Japan, don't you think at this stage you could maybe round up a Japanese publisher of anime who would take it over for you? Or is it something that you don't want to lose control of and you want to do it yourself even in Japanese?
I would rather do it myself. It would be an English version. I mean, if it was Japanese, if I would put it in Japanese, I would just hire someone to, do the translating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
that's. Well, there are anime. I guess there are anime books here in. Doesn't that require? Will that require a different illustrator, or will your illustrator be able to do that too? I mean, that seems to me like it's a specialized genre on itself.
It is, and that's something that I'm still in the planning stages for. But even if it doesn't become a manga, I mean, I can always do an animated series on YouTube.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't have to, go international. It can just be an anime artist who can actually, do the anime part. So that's going to be a little tough to find, but we're working on it.
Is there anywhere that people can get autographed copies of your books?
Oh yeah, if you go to VampireGuardianAngels.com, that's my website. And there's a link that says buy, and it'll take you to a page which, get signed copies here through PayPal or through Big Cartel. And so you can order that way.
Okay, my apologies, Jojo. I think that was a question I was going to let Jojo ask, and I just went ahead and asked it anyway. So she'll have to grab something. She'll have to grab something.
Well, I was just going to ask if the comics were currently available in some bookstores, like hard copy.
Not yet. That's another thing. It's just a matter of, printing and distribution costs, which, if you're doing a big convention, during the year, it's kind of tough to try to supply all the other little, bookstores with that. But that's something that I need to work on and see if I can do, the bulk publishing and get them all into the comic book stores locally.
Yeah. Is it so? When people are ordering now, do you have it set up like it's a print-on-demand type of thing, or?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Correct.
Well, that's good. Yeah, because it's hard when you have to have all the stock and all that.
And it kind of gives people an incentive to come to the conventions because you can actually get a signed copy from me and my artist right there and meet us.
Yeah, so they can bring they can bring their comics to the convention and all that. But I suppose you have some there for sale as well, right?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. That's where we do have the bulk of our hard copies.
You should do little Vampire Guardian Angel dolls. That would be cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking about a lot of things.
I know.
Well, tell me more about the movies that you do. I didn't actually see. I'm certainly going to go check them out. Are they how long are they? I mean, are they just like book trailers, or are they mini movies, or are they skits, or what?
Yeah, they're skits. They're very short. Usually, I just take a page from the novel. This was before the comic books, and decided to have actors act it out to see what it would actually look like, on film. And so we'd select a certain chapter and do little scenes from there. I actually did some feature-length adaptations just for fun. And then there was a 20-minute film short that I did as well. So it's kind of like it was more of an experimentation stage.
Were you into film? Were you into film before you were into writing? I mean, do you have a film background or anything like that?
Yeah, actually, I started off as a filmmaker. All my novels initially started out as scripts, and then I kind of filled them in and then turned them into novels. And so I was doing films first before I was even into novel writing. And so that's how I got started. Writing was basically doing screenplays.
Do you find filmmaking more rewarding? Is that basically your thing, or have you drifted off and found, or writing more to your liking, or both the same, or?
I actually love comic books now. I mean, I found that doing a comic book was actually the most rewarding one. The only time I'd probably go back into film is if it's A, anime, or B, if it's a web series, which I am kind of planning on, but I do want to do a web series sometime of like the entire novel and the comic book. But it's kind of, time and resources and which one I want to do, which is probably easier. I mean, at this point, the web series is probably easier, but who knows if I find the anime artist, then that comes first.
Yeah, and the web series can be like super, that goes international. You're set. I just went to your YouTube and it's really cool. I couldn't listen to it because I'm on the radio, but I have the address and I'll send it to you, William, after the show.
Yes, please do, because I got the film aspect I find interesting, especially if what do you film it then on just regular video camera, or do you have? It
was a Panasonic DVX 100D, one of those old tape-based. The mini DV tape-based one. So if I do have to film, I'm going to have to get a whole new setup. That's kind of like the challenge too, is getting the whole new camera and the whole, everything else. So that's kind of something else to think of. But I mean, I do have a composer, and I do have. If it is going to be films, it's more going to be like almost, heavy metal, death metal kind of thing. Because if you do notice in the comic books, I do have friends in there who are playing in local bands, but they're all like death metal, black metal. So that's going to kind of be the atmosphere. That's going to be the direction I'm going to take everything, the films, the anime, all that. So there's a lot more metal.
Have you seen that old movie, Heavy Metal? Because that's kind of...
Yeah.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
Your comics kind of that real... Just the way they're done, I can't even describe it. Just the colors and everything. It sort of reminds me of that, sort of. But
right.
Yeah, we should get some of those heavy metal people on the show, William.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Bring them on.
Okay.
Bring them on. Bring them on. Bring them on.
Bring them on. Bring them on.
Sure. What the heck?
Yeah.
I'm game.
Yeah.
I'm game.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah.
Do you have someplace you're taking these? I mean, that could be taken in numerous ways. I mean, do you have a storyline theme? Do you know where these people are going? Your characters. I mean, are you heading in? Are they just en route all the time, or is there someplace you want to take them?
I kind of want more of a direction of developing them emotionally, where at this point it's more of a struggle of, do I become good or do I become evil kind of thing. I have all this power now, and then now what kind of thing. It's like I have one character who wants to become like the ruler of all the vampire guardian angels, and then his dad's like the good guy. It's like, no, you should be this and this and that. It's kind of like the moral, ethical kind of thing, and still trying to avoid all the romance. There will be none of that. So it's more like a power play now between the characters.
So there is some good ones, like some good vampires.
There's one.
Okay.
One.
There can be only one.
One.
And if he
and then
disappears,
maybe one who regrets it. I don't know. That's the thing. That's like I want to take a character and see where do I want this character to go. And will he be the savior? Will he be not the savior? Will it just be an apocalyptic landscape, which is kind of like what I want to go for.
And your comic books are basically what, 24 pages long, something like that?
Yep. Yes.
And are you planning to expand to graphic novel format and make them larger at any point?
I might do a compilation if I decide that issue 6 will be, either the last issue for now, or if it's going to trail off into something else. So it's kind of iffy because it's so expensive to do, that's going to be more than 24 pages, and one, printed out, it'll be like,
You did combine several of yours into a graphic novel format, though, didn't you? Or am I imagining that as well as a Spanish edition?
No, that is true. the novel itself, the original novel, is combined. It used to be 3 books combined into, a trilogy. There was another graphic novel where I fired that artist and removed that book from, Amazon because it was just not up to par. It was not, I took it out and it's no longer available. So I decided to just concentrate on this series, like, the new comic book, the Vampires, Archangels main one. And maybe at some point I will probably combine everything. But then again, because I did the first graphic novel, it was so prohibitively expensive.
Yeah.
To even print.
No,
so I'll probably do maybe few of the collectors.
Yeah, it's a very expensive medium. So
yeah, you were saying that before, William. Anything with photos? Or
that's true. It's emphasis. Yes, it's very complicated and very complicated and very expensive. Medium. Yeah, and besides which, if you're going color, it becomes even more. I mean, for every color you add, it's another few dollars to your income, to your output. Black and white is one thing, as color is something else again. So yes.
Yeah. Right. Well, the covers are full color, but the interior is like black, white, and red. But it's still, considered color.
Yeah.
Because you've got the red in there.
Yeah, any color, even a splash of color, adds cost to the.
Right.
Okay. Are we watching the time, Jojo?
We are getting short.
Are you watching the time?
I am
Jojo?
watching the time, and we are getting a little short on time, so we're going to have to wrap it up. And this is, I'm so happy we had you on, though, Leah, because it's really, really, I like this a lot. Like, we've never had vampire comics on the show before.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Do you want to let our listeners just know one more time, like, your websites and your Facebook and all that fun stuff?
Sure. If they go to VampireGuardianAngels.com, that's with an S, plural, then they can go to all the links that have my Facebook, my Twitter, and everything else that they need to know, where to buy and stuff. And shout out to my awesome artist, Chad Naders, and to all the metal bands who've been in this comic book series and making it a success. Thank you so much for everyone, from all my fans. Thank you.
Cool. Yeah, well, thanks.
And Leah and LeahScottPrice.com.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And by the way, people, that's Leah with an I, so it's Lia. So don't get confused. Don't get confused like some of us. Okay.
I know. 404 not found. It's okay.
Right.
Yeah. But thank you so much for having me on.
Well, thank you. It's our pleasure. I mean, it's a fascinating subject, and I wish you well with it, because it's unsparkly vampires are needed.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah. Definitely no sparkles here.
Yeah, and we'll have to, when you have some more, when your next one comes out, we'll have to have you back, too.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yes,
we're happy anytime if you have a vampire thing. We'll be happy.
So thanks so much for being on the show. And
thank you.
And like I said, next week on the show, we welcome for the first time Dominic St. Charles and his band Earn, and I'm going to play us out tonight with one of their songs. And also, thank you for listening. And if you're looking for some great straight or gay mysteries, espionage, sci-fi, western, romance stories, even cookbooks, go to Amazon.com and put in William Maltese, and you'll find well over 200 books. And if you're looking for gothic jewelry and funky footwear, please check out my site, VampireWear.com. Use the voucher code BITEME, get 10% off. And if you want to buy some honey or beeswax or anything, or even some bee jewelry, go to MeadowLilyFarm.com. So thank you, everybody, for listening, and we'll catch you next Wednesday at 8 o'clock Eastern.
Ciao.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night. Thank you, Leah. Goodbye.
Take care. Bye-bye.